Oh my goodness. We are actually about 2 minutes early. So we're going to sit for just a second. What's up? Thanks for joining me live. We're going to wait just a couple seconds. We are a little early. So funny, I've got to calibrate this. I don't know what the deal is. My clock on my PC is exactly 2 minutes faster than my iPhone. And we know iPhones don't make mistakes. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. So we're a little early. So we're gonna sit tight for just a second. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Hit me up in the chats and let me know that the sound is good. You must be able to hear me because Jason's answering my question. So that's good. Awesome. All right. So sit tight. See a lot of familiar faces. I don't see your faces, but I see your names. Thanks for joining live. I appreciate the attendance. That's awesome. I know a lot of people are working right now. I can't do this live, so I get it. All right, let's just go ahead and get started. There's enough of us in here to get popping. Hopefully everybody's doing good. Enjoy the chat. The chat's up. Those of y'all that like to banter. This is a week. Yeah, this is a week. This is a stacked week. And I know I'm stating the obvious, but we do have the elections, which is obviously today, and it will take up most of the day. So I'm sure most of the U.S. have their TVs on and are monitoring what's going on in the states. It's not just the presidential election. We have quite a few for the House and Congress and so on and so forth, and statewide as well. So it's a big deal. Prediction markets. Yeah, be very careful with prediction markets, man. I mean, yeah. Anyway, enough about prediction markets. It's going to be very, very interesting to see, but that's not all we have. So not only do we have the elections today, we also go right into FOMC, like bang, bang, bang. So Wednesday and Thursday, we have the FOMC meeting. And as you know, that means markets are looking to see what type of interest rate reduction, if any, that we do get. I'm of the mindset based off the data that's come out, which continues to show the economy, while it's slowing, is still decently performing well. So my opinion is that we see a 0.25% rate reduction this month. So we'll see if that is the case or not. That's another thing the market's going to be watching. So this, as far as volatility inside of a week goes, is the odds are of it being very volatile is very, very high. And what that means is it makes it very dangerous for active short-term traders, because you're going to get a lot of knee-jerk reactions in the market. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is narrative-driven reactions. So let's talk about the elections. The election is a narrative-driven market reaction. What does that mean? What that means is, and there's people that are going to try to convince you that it's not. There's people that are going to try to convince you that if a certain candidate wins, that it's the apocalypse and that is the end of the markets. No. These are the same people that did the same thing with COVID, that did the same thing with the horrible economy that we have had, while not represented in the stock market, has represented itself in the pocketbooks of American families and singles and men and women. I don't want to leave anybody out. God forbid that I hurt somebody's feelings. We don't want to do that. Again, be careful of anyone talking about narrative to drive a total complete response in the market. So narrative is good for one thing and one thing only, and that is to freak out retail. Narrative does not drive presiding or presumptuous or presiding or ruling trends in the market. So now, that being said, I do believe, because it just is, markets are pro-Trump. Look, this isn't about your political views, your political opinions. I'm not here to offend anybody. I don't care who you vote for. I'm not here to talk about who I like over the other. I'm just talking about what is, okay? And Trump is pro-industry business, period. Therefore, markets will favor Trump on a win. So a knee-jerk reaction for Trump, in my view, would be something positive, something up, something increase where the markets go north. Again, this is still going to be knee-jerk. Those that think that is, it could keep going, but I mean, it's still knee-jerk. No matter who wins, that initial reaction is knee-jerk. And your best play is to just let the dust settle and not gamble and stay out of the volatility, especially margin traders. Oh my goodness. Anyone margin trading this is absolutely insane and is probably just has the money to lose or found the money in their couch and doesn't care. And if that's you, I get it. Matter of fact, the 360 Elite actually has some lotto trades on some crypto meme coins based on this election. And we're doing it just for fun. My plan is to just lose it. So, but who knows? And by the way, we're playing both sides of the fence, just so you know, on that lotto trade. But anyway, 360 Elite are sitting in a fantastic, wonderful seat because even our Bitcoin longs, we took a lot of that off the table with massive profits, and we have our stops at entry because we entered those at 57K, that set of longs. So we actually exited part of that at 70K. I mean, what a ride, amazing. Some of 360 like the money so much, they took 100% profits there, and that's wonderful. So we're sitting at a point where we have no risk on Bitcoin. Then you have Ethereum. Ethereum has been in our buy zone, accumulation zone for a hot minute. It does not mean that Ethereum cannot sweep the lows. Why do I mean that? Because I don't think Bitcoin is going to sweep the lows. We talked about this before. Everybody keeps wanting Bitcoin to sweep the lows. It's done that 3 times. Like it's done it 3 times. Okay? By the way, Bitcoin has not swept the high yet. No, it started to sweep the layered highs, but it did not sweep the ATH. So it's left that liquidity. We're going to talk about that, what that means, why I like it so much moving into the future. But for me, again, as a long-term trader, a long-term investor, Ethereum remains the one that you want to be in because the Ethereum switch has not been flipped. Now you have a Bitcoin near what? Resistance. And you have an Ethereum near what? Support. All right. So do you long resistance or do you long support? So again, Ethereum still remains, the place of accumulation. I say accumulation because, we are near support. It could go lower. It could sweep the lows one more time before going higher. But for me, you would want to accumulate that. You'd want to continue to stack and build that. Bitcoin, you just kind of, if you're not already in it, I mean, you just kind of either want to wait for something else, something more higher probability. But for me, during this week, it's a no touch. And it's just a watch, wait and see. And that's why I love the way the 360 Elite is set up on this. Shall we look at the charts? I think we shall. All right. Bam. All right. So I'm going to turn my head to where my chart is, and you can look in my ear. All right, here we go. Very familiar here. And this is what we're talking about. So the prevailing 200 and let's just get the exact number. Okay, we have the approximate. So you never go when you're measuring time in a zone. You don't want to start here. Okay, you want to start at the first high. So we're going to grab our ruler. We're going to come to that peak. And then we're going to come to just where it broke out here. And then came back in. And we're going to stop right there. And you have a 228 days. So from here to here, this breakout, not this one because that was false. You have 228 days. Now, what are you seeing right off the bat? What are you seeing right off the bat? Well, you're seeing just a peekaboo. We call this a turtle head, just because we do. right there. And then this comes back down and then bang, they send that north. And that's where you get your sweep of the layered highs, removing all that liquidity, but you do not sweep the high. This has not been done yet. I love that it has been done. I'd be more concerned about how low this was going if on this increase, it came up and grabbed that and then reversed, especially if the reverse was nasty. Because I would be saying, okay, this is probably going much deeper, but it didn't. It did not. It did not. So it still has not swept the highs, even though bears have a 1, 2, 3 sweep of the lows. So there you have it. So what does that mean? What that means for me is I think we established some higher consolidation. Where? Well, let's take a little peek and see what we got going on and look at what's going on with what price action worst case for me would look like. I want to bring up to your attention 360 Elite. I already know this, but there is inside liquidity down here. There is inside liquidity down here. And we talked about this pullback here. If this got bad, we talked about a possible triple bottom higher low. So you have your low of lows, your first higher low, and now your second major higher low. We don't know if this is going to be a higher low yet. Okay, so we're trying to see what happens here, but we are looking for worst case to fill the inside liquidity. Remember, this is worst case. This is if Bitcoin decides to descend and liquidate more longs and blah, 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 blah. Then we could see this come down, fill this, and possibly get trips bottom here and reverse off of there and head back up north. That's what I would be looking for a bearish bullish scenario, meaning bears have the power to take us down and then bulls retake the ball. So a bearish bullish beats Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, there you go. So that's worst case. So we're going to zoom in on this now that you've seen it on the daily chart. I want to zoom in on this bad boy. This guy. Yeah. And we're going to go to the 4 hour. Yep. All right. So here's that inside liquidity I was talking about. It's not like there's tons of it, but you get this kind of impulse move here and one here. And so there is some inside liquidity there. And this would be about where your trips low would be if this decided to break down. Now, something I showed you guys last week, and I want to show it to you again. And it's something that I almost never see on the 4 hour chart. And that is this very weird. And as soon as it was developing, I let my people know this was strange. You have a very strange 4 hour bundle here. Okay. And when I saw this, I at that point in time is when I surmised, hey, we're going to go test the high. But before it did, because this is smart money establishing positions, longs. And then before they send it, they wreck noobs. Not once, but twice. Bang. False breakdown bear trap. Bang. False break up bull trap. Bang. Hit bears again. Because now bears are like, yeah, we're definitely going down. And then sends it on up. And they did it right here. And then they played shenanigans. And by the way, look at how this played out on the support. To the T, to the letter. Pretty incredible. I mean, and we discovered this. We actually saw this while this was actually developing. I pointed this out to 360 Elite. And it has played out like a rock star after wrecking noobs, testing the ATH without taking higher liquidity, pulling back, retesting this zone. Now, what has to happen? Now it's elections and shenanigan time. So who knows what's going to happen? Again, if this does break down, the odds are these fair value gaps will fill. Okay, the odds are this fair value gap will fill, but that remains to be seen. And we are getting some meat here on this bounce, but this is the squeeze point right here. So you have a squeeze between the ATH and this is actually 66,700 area where this is a playground right now for Bitcoin. So worst case, we get a drop down here. We get that hopefully triple bottom low, and then price takes off. This could come up, reject again, and play reindeer games up here. Yes. So let's go back to the daily. Let's go to the chart we had. But interesting enough, and again, right now that coincides with the resistance, old resistance of the trend channel. So not only is it a horizontal support, and I just showed that to you, but look at the support that we have here now. It's supporting above the descending channel. Now, again, that doesn't mean it can't come back down in here and fill and take this liquidity. Okay, it doesn't mean it can't do that. But for right now, this is good, decent price action where you have your false breakout, you have your real breakout, your test of major resistance. I want to point this out. There was no way this was going to break on first tap. The odds, I'm not going to say there's no way, because in the market, there's always a way. And the market will end up making fools of everybody. But the odds were so tiny. And I love that we didn't get a false breakout. But the odds were so tiny that this was going to smash this on the first attempt. So what we want to see is and I'm going to come down to this. And we're going to get rid of that. We're going to move that over. All right. So what we want to see is some type of ascension or ascending price action up here. All right. So if this comes down and fills these liquidities, we want that bounce, reattack, bounce, reattack. It's not going to look perfectly like that, but you get the point. We do want to continue to set now from this area, a series or set of higher lows and reattacks on resistance. Yeah, that was my dog Onyx. Sorry, she's very, very loud. She's actually downstairs, but this house is very echoey. It's like a big echo chamber. I mean, if you whisper, somebody's going to hear it like downstairs. It's crazy. That's why my sound on this is usually so horrible. It's just a big old echo chamber. So that's what we really want to see. That's what we like to see, that reattack. And why do we want to see that? Because it means when we do break out, the odds of it being a real breakout, where we break this structure into a new all-time high, then we hold this area as support. And then you get your new leg. That would be you talk about a 220-day foundation, folks. Really what this is all about. Do you all get that? Do you understand that this is a 220-day foundation from which Bitcoin, when it breaks out, can stand on and leg up on? 220 days. It's so significant that it can lead to a leg of extreme significance. Why? Because it has spent so much time dealing with this price range. Now, and I pointed this out to my elite, and the reason why we could spend time here, I'm going to show you why. Let me show you why we could spend time here. And remember, this diagonal line here, I'm drawing it loosely. Look at this area. This is it literally 139 days. 139 days where a price action that has not been dealt with. And just now is it getting chopped. You understand? All of this has been chopped to hell in a handbasket. It's been dealt with. The price action's been dealt with. It just has. So it would take some pretty nasty spot selling to get price to return back here because it's been dealt with. You got 3 sweeps of the lows, baby. So it's logical for price to spend some time and deal with this area. And this could even be about like that. Chop this area up. Chop this area up. But sustain that higher low and then break out. Oh my goodness. That is what you want to see. That is what bears definitely don't want to see it. Boo-bye. Continue cycle. Continue cycle. Now, somewhere in this area, Bitcoin will lose dominance. And guess who takes dominance? Ethereum, right on time. Right on time there. And we know 828, right on time. That is correct. Ethereum, for the first time this cycle, would flip the switch, take the dominance, and from here to the end, in trend, would own the dominance. Ethereum and altcoins would then own the dominance. This is a part of the cycle we have not seen to date, not once. You can validate that on the Ethereum to Bitcoin chat. I don't have time to go into that right now. Maybe we'll cover that at the end of the week when we do our next live. Actually, that's exactly what we'll do. Ethereum to Bitcoin, Ethereum dominance, Bitcoin dominance, all pointing to the same thing, something that has not occurred yet. That is what is coming. That is what is in the future for the cycle, as if the cycle is going to be a cycle at all. That is what is around the corner. But for this week, it's all about shenanigans, tomfoolery, and hocus pocus. And what I would tell you is, unless you're stacking spot on the things you want for the cycle, chill, relax, and let the dust settle. And most importantly, come join the 360 Elite, where we do this all day, 24/7 in dedicated Telegram, baby. In dedicated Telegram. As always, this video and all my videos are sponsored by the great global financial news powerhouse, 4cmedia.com. Until next time, baby, here comes the boom. And thanks for joining me.